Federal arrest warrant has been issued for a man wanted for assault following an incident in Portland. The U.S. Marshals Service says they are searching for Christopher Haken, who is charged with unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. Officials say Haken is wanted for his involvement in a shooting incident in Portland in July of last year that left one person dead and 3 injured. He's wanted for criminal conspiracy and elevated aggravated assault. 5 other people have been arrested in connection to the case. According to the U.S. Marshals, Haken was arrested last month in Vermont as a fugitive from justice, but posted bail on conditions that he would appear in court. However, he did not appear and is now wanted in Vermont. Portland police say Haken is an alleged member of a motorcycle club and should be considered dangerous as well as possibly armed. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the United States Marshals Service District of Maine.